Morning, Joe and the Pro. I'm the Prez. Drew Martin from Sports Memo with us, wearing a camo hat. Camo's my thing, dude. I went and bought I got a camo Leaf jersey. I'm wearing it tonight. I'm going to the game. It's in Buffalo. I'm going with Carmine Bianco. We got a box, 20 guys. It's going to be a fun night.
Man, that sounds awesome, Prez. You got a box, going to throw some back, watch some hockey.
I don't throw things back, Drew. I don't drink.
Oh, do you not? Okay. Hey, then enjoy the game in the box. Have some good food, man. That's good.
Yeah, I don't understand alcohol. Never have. Last time I was drunk, I was 16 years old. A gay guy tried to pick me up in a bar. He kept buying me drinks. I'm like, okay, I'll take the drinks, but you ain't getting my ass. Got drunk, and I haven't been drunk since.
No way.
What?
Really?
Yeah. And I've never had a beer in my whole life.
I could have sworn we ran into each other in Vegas and you were hammered, but maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, man.
I don't actually remember seeing you in Vegas ever. Maybe I was hammered. Just wouldn't have been with alcohol.
I'm just joking with you. I don't ever remember seeing you in Vegas either. So
yeah, dude, I don't hang out with guys better looking than me. I like wingmen, not front men.
Really? So what do you do? What are you doing hanging out with Johnny Detroit then, man?
Yeah, right. Good one. Hilarious. Hilarious. I prefer hanging out with Teddy. Boy, do I look good. And Marco, oh my God, I'm like svelte. Anyway, college basketball, something's going on this week. Starts tomorrow, and I'm excited, man. Like, I love the first 2 days of the madness, but what we're going to do today on WagerTalk.com is we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the website like we always do. I'm going to brag about going 5-0 in NHL last night. Oh, I already just did. And then we're going to talk about what's going on at SportsMemo.com. Maybe look at a few futures, and you are going to give us a couple of free picks. One for Thursday and one for Friday. Let's start with what's going on at sportsmemo.com. Drew, fill us in, brother. Sales have been outstanding. You're doing an amazing job running the show. Give us the goods.
Yeah, we got a lot going on at Sports Memo right now. Some 5% plays up for both the Thursday and Friday action in March Madness, so check that out. Some guys really hitting their groove. And some of the new guys, too. Mid-major Matt Josephs, he really knows these NIT CBI games very well. He hit his $2 Tuesday play, so congrats to everybody out there that jumped on that. And also Robbie Vino doing very well on the podcast all the time. We do a daily podcast over there at sportsmemo.com, talking all things sports betting. So when you're done listening to Prez, feel free to jump over to sportsmemo.com if you're looking for more sports betting advice. And as far as coupon codes, we got one Drew 99. It will give you the rest of my college basketball season for just $99. So a huge discount there off the retail price. And that goes all the way through the Final Four, includes the NIT, all the smaller conferences, and the NCAA March Madness tournament as well. So that's Drew 99 at checkout. Prez, we got a bunch on the slate. We got 2 free plays coming up, and yeah, you talking some futures action as well. Do you like any of these smaller teams to come out of round one?
I'll talk to you about that in a sec. Let me tell you what's going on at Wager Talk. We got a couple of feature plays up at Wager Talk. Dwayne Bryant's got a 5% CBB over and under. It's going tonight. He's on a 65%, 17-9 run in his last 26 college basketball totals. He is 53-31 in his 5-unit plays. It's an amazing record. He's got a 5% max bet going tonight as well. Oskim Sports, he has a big play going up in NBA tonight. And he's on a 10-2 NBA run. I have one NHL play tonight. Check us all out at WagerTalk.com. And I got no promo code tonight, so we'll let yours stand alone. CB99?
Drew 99, DREW 99 at checkout for full season college basketball.
So that demonstrates how much attention I was paying to you. Drew, futures. We've spoken with Teddy. We had Cal Sports on yesterday. It's really tough, dude. Duke is just so heavily favored right now. Nobody can lay that type of wood. Just to win the East, it's Duke minus 175, Michigan at plus 330. Virginia Tech at plus 1,100 all the way down to North Carolina sent something or other at plus 30,000.
Yeah.
The East is Duke got lucky. Not only did they get the 1 seed, but this regional is not a tough walk for them. If anybody's going to give them any trouble, it's Michigan State at plus 333. No chance I can bet that play. I really have nothing in that region. What do you think?
In the East region, it's tough to lay that much wood with Duke, like you said. I do think Michigan's got a shot to beat him, just with Cassius Winston at the point guard, Nick Ward coming back healthy. I think Michigan State's, as healthy as they've been in months. And with that point guard play and the efficient offense and defense under a good coach in Izzo, I think that Michigan State does have a chance. It's just Duke is the most talented team in the country, so it's like going against Alabama, which it happened in the national championship this year. It's just tough to do when it comes down, to national championships at stake. The more talented team wins a lot. It's just a matter of if you want to lay the price. I do think Michigan State could get there and get to the Final Four, but it's not something that I bet as of now, Prez.
Yeah, and then we look at the Midwest with North Carolina favored at plus 200, but Kentucky's right behind them at 240. When you take a look at some of the other teams, Houston at plus 450. I'd like to see it around plus 600. Iowa State is plus 700. I'd like to see that at plus maybe 850. But I think if you're going to bet a future for the Midwest region, it's got to be Iowa State at plus 700.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'll tell you this with the Midwest, the reason I would definitely pump the brakes on UNC is because after the 1 seed, I think that this is a very strong sub bracket here. We got Iowa State, like you said, at 6. You also got Auburn at 5. If they're hitting 3s, they're going to be a tough team for UNC as well, and that's going to set up there. And Kentucky towards the bottom end, Houston, like you said. So as far as the 2 through probably 6, I believe Midwest is the strongest division. That's what would make me pump the brakes on betting the Tar Heels in terms of futures.
The South region, you got Virginia at plus 115. No chance in hell. Look, I think they could win it all, but I think they could be out this weekend. This team just doesn't show up for the madness. But they are clearly better than any other team in that division. Tennessee at plus 300, Villanova at plus 800. And I think that really the two teams to look at from a long shot perspective, and we've had both Cal Sports and Teddy talk about Oregon. Don't sleep on Kansas State at plus 1,200 or Cincinnati at plus 1,400. I think either of those teams on any given night can beat Virginia or Tennessee. I think they would lose 6 or 7 out of 10 against them, but those numbers are pretty decent from a value perspective.
Prez, I agree with one thing and I disagree with one thing that you said. One, the Cincinnati play that you mentioned, I really like this Bearcats team, especially in round 1 and possibly in round 2 against Tennessee. I think they could give the Vols a lot of trouble. And looking at this bracket overall, if you look at all the 1 seeds, even Duke in that second round, they might have UCF. Taco Fall could be a tough matchup. And then beyond that, Mississippi State and Virginia Tech, I think, are 2 powerful teams. When you look at Virginia's sub bracket, after the 16 Gardner Webb, which they should beat, you brought up last year them not showing up. Keep in mind that UMBC team, they shot lights out. They would have beat a lot of teams last year. And I think Virginia kind of gets a tough rap because of that. And using that to our advantage this year, if you look at Virginia to make the round of 32, to make the Sweet 16, and to make the Elite 8, I think they are a lock as much as any team in the tournament to make the Elite Eight, just because of how it sets up. Ole Miss and Oklahoma in the 8-9, both of those two teams have major flaws. And then beyond that, Wisconsin at the 5, Kansas State at the 4, and who they would have to play in the Sweet 16. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those teams get bounced out in round 1, with Oregon, like you mentioned, and also UC Irvine, the Anteater team, to give Kansas State. Keep in mind, Dean Wade is likely out. That could be a 12-13 matchup. So you talk about an easy road for Virginia into the Elite Eight. I think they have as easy road as anybody in the tournament to make it to the Elite Eight.
He's Drew Martin. I'm the Prez. It's Morning Joe and the Pro. You can find us every day at WagerTalk TV on YouTube, as well as at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. The West region, Teddy thinks hardest region out there. Gonzaga at plus 160. Michigan at plus 240. The Red Raiders at plus 450. Drew, Florida State at plus 600 is a really good team. And strangely, the Gators at plus 6,000 could make some noise. I think Texas Tech at plus 450 might be the best value, but I'd like to see that number go higher as well. What do you think about the West?
I take the opposite angle of Teddy. I think the West is the weakest sub-bracket in all of them. I think we have the weakest number 1 seed with Gonzaga and the weakest number 2 seed with Michigan.
Yep.
Outside of that, I think Texas Tech is a strong team if you're looking to make a play outside of a 1 and 2 team to cut down the nets. Because of the bracket they come from, I think Texas Tech is a good long shot to win the national championship. And you bring up Florida State. That's a long, athletic, strong defensive team coming from the ACC. They're battle-tested. They beat good teams. That's not a team that I want to face, and they would have to face Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. That could be a tough matchup for Gonzaga. They could go home early. Also in that 8-9, Syracuse and Baylor, that's a high upside Baylor team versus another ACC team in Syracuse as far as battle tested. I don't think Gonzaga has that good of a draw. I could see them getting bounced out early. And the long shot you said with Florida, that's a good one as well. I mean, Nevada doesn't have a true point guard. I think Florida at the 10 seed could come out of this round 1. And then against Michigan in that round 32, I mean, that total, that might not even be a triple-digit total. That could be a double-digit total with the way those two teams have slow pace and play defense. So Florida could come out of that defensive matchup as well. So if you're looking for another long shot, the Florida Gators, I don't disagree with you, Prez.
If you think Drew knows what he's talking about, and I do, head over to sportsmemo.com, pay $99 for Drew's entire March Madness. Use the promo code DREW. 9-9. Brother, let's talk a couple of free picks. I'm really interested in St. Mary's. 22-11 on the year. They're the number 11 seed. They're playing Nova, but listen to this, brother. This team just beat Gonzaga handily, 60-47. They have won 8 of their last 10. They've won 7 of their last 8. They are plus 4.5. The over and under here is 130. Nova's won their last 3, but you go back and you look at their competition. Seton Hall, Xavier, Providence Hall again, Butler, Marquette, Xavier, Georgetown. They lost to Hull. They lost to Xavier, to Georgetown. I don't think this Villanova team is that good. And if you want to pick an upset, the 11 seed over the 6 right here, right now, they're plus 4.5. They're playing really good ball going into the tournament.
They are, but I would actually take the other side. I think Villanova's the side here, and a lot of people agreeing with you, and we're seeing a short number here in a 6-11 matchup, like you said. 4.5 number from a Big East team going against the WCC team. That conference was not very good. Outside of Gonzaga, they beat them, but I don't think Gonzaga gave it their all. I mean, they knew they were in the tournament. They got a 1 seed anyway after losing in their conference championship game. I think St. Mary's very much benefited from that. And you add into the fact Nova is traveling a little over 3 hours to this location. St. Mary's is having to travel 3 time zones. Not a lot of time to do that, going from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast in Hartford, Connecticut. It's not an easy travel spot. Probably the worst travel spot in the tournament is here, St. Mary's on Thursday. Plus the fact, who has St. Mary's beat, Prez? You bring up Villanova's schedule. At least they're in the Big East with some absolutely nobody. Since November, their 2 best wins, their only top 100 wins, are the San Diego Toros, who Ken Palm has at 90th, and the San Francisco Dons at 70th. They haven't beat pretty much anybody, no tournament teams since New Mexico State, and that was, I believe, in their first 5 games, and they're a 12 seed. So this is a whole different level. Villanova is somebody that they haven't fared very well against, other than the WCC championship game against Gonzaga, and I don't think Gonzaga gave it their all. So I'm against St. Mary's here. I like Villanova minus a short number.
Drew, I want to talk to you quickly about this total. It's 130, and I find it's always interesting because you got Villanova, their last 5 games, all close to 75 points in those games. And then you've got St. Mary's, where you got a 60, a 69, a 55. In keeping with your concept that Villanova is going to win this game, clearly the pace of the game will be to their liking. But not only that, I find that in the madness, these short numbers, like a 4.5, they tend to lean a little bit more to the over if the number is low, and 130 is low. We see teams down by 10 points with a minute to go, and they still think they're in it and start fouling. Surely 130 is a bit low, and the bet here is on the over.
I agree with your sentiment that this number indicates more of an over look, but the fact that both of these 2 teams are 300s in terms of pace, I doubt we're going to see 70 possessions. We might not even see 60 possessions. So when you start talking a point per possession, that really only puts us at 120. These 2 teams might get to 130 with a lot of what you said, especially if it becomes a foul fest towards the end. But there's just not going to be a lot of possessions, Prez. So if one of these 2 teams has an offensive law, we could find ourselves falling well short of this 130 number. It's something I haven't bet either way, and I get your point of this number indicating more of an over, but I'm just not sure if there's going to be enough possessions. I haven't bet the over.
Speaking of a low total, Drew, Friday, Oregon playing Wisconsin. I mean, look, any Wisconsin game is going to be a low total, but we've got a 116 on the board here. And if you look at Wisconsin, I mean, they put up 73. I bet both those games went into overtime. It's going to be a slow, boring game. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to play the Ducks, dude. They have won 8 games in a row. And not only that, but they covered all 8 of those games. They're on an 8-0 ATS run right now. Wisconsin is the opposite. They're on a 2-7-1 ATS run in their last 10. I think the Ducks are a scary team. They're getting 1.5. I love the Ducks in this spot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And I almost don't like Wisconsin as much as I like Oregon. I'll tell you, Wisconsin just 64% from the charity stripe. Ethan Happ down the stretch, he's a joke shooting free throws. It's becoming a big problem having your best player. It's almost better if he's just not in the game in a competitive game towards the stretch for foul issues. They can hit threes and play defense. They have quick guards. But outside of that, it's a scary team, mainly because of the free throws. And in this price range, it could come down to a foul fest. Oregon, like you talked about, 8 straight wins. And Prez, against 8 straight top 100 opponents. Say whatever you want about the Pac-12. They're not top heavy, that's for sure. But the middle of the pack isn't terrible. So they got many top 100 wins in a row down the stretch. Won the Pac-12. They're hot. Top 20 defensive efficiency and top 100 offensive efficiency. So both top 100s there. And slow pace. Like you said, this number, the total, it says it. They're both 300 teams in terms of pace. Oregon way better from the free throw line. And a junior point guard who's very good in Peyton Richard. I would look towards the Ducks just in this short number here, catching 2. So I think Oregon free throws, and they're the hot team right now, Prez. I would look towards the Ducks plus the points.
He's Drew Martin. I'm the Prez. I need you to hold on. Mr. Bianco's picking me up lunch, and he went to the wrong damn place.
No worries, man.
Oh, I got to answer the phone. You can hear it. Carm, I'm doing Morning Joe in the Pro. I don't eat Subway. Okay, I'll figure something out later. Hey, yeah, there's 2 sub places in Toronto, in Canada. Subway is the worst. I don't know how anybody can eat that shit. But we have a place called Mr. Sub. Way better. I just don't like the Italian meats. I don't like Genoa and all of this stuff. It's too heavy. The flavor is too big. Anyway, nobody gives a shit.
What do you go with? Turkey?
No, I go with regular meat, salami, pastrami, anything that rhymes with those. Corned beef, ham, turkey. Just don't give me that Subway shit. Anyway, thanks for being on the show, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, Prez. Anytime, man. I love doing the show, and you got good content. And guys, remember the coupon code Drew99. Save you a bunch of money for the rest of my college basketball season. Thanks for having me, Prez. Have fun tonight, man.
Will do, brother, and good luck tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm going to watch every game. I took the day off. I take every day off. And we'll speak to you next week.
Sounds good, Prez. Have a good one, man.
Ciao, buddy.